Right, Baas here, that's me. How you doing? STRAB's going well. It's 2014 and it's a 10th STRAB still. Not yet turned into the 11th one. And I'm here chatting to Stefan Dixon.
Was it?
This is him. Stefan, I chatted to you last year and
Yes.
we couldn't use the interview because your voice was not entirely copacetic.
It was a rough weekend.
I'm so glad that I get to chat to you again this year.
Yes.
Because I take it a lot has changed in the last year or so since you've been here.
It has. More mindset has changed. So I've been touring a lot. I toured too much, actually. I kind of collapsed in the process, but I'm going to
Wait, you collapsed during the tour?
During the tour, yes.
Do tell.
I'll just keep it short. It was just pure exhaustion. I was pushing it too far, too much, too many gigs. I think it was a combination of a lot of things. I think I got a bit lost on the way. I was playing a lot of gigs and I was making good money out of it, and that became a big part of what I was doing, the money part. And I think that all these small things just gathered together, and eventually I just gave in, basically. And through that, I mean, a whole new phase of my career. I'm actually in a great space at the moment. Where after that, I'm just focusing on the gigs that I really want to play, and sort of just doing really the things that I really want to do. You know what I mean? Instead of being part of this race to the top.
I mean, not a lot of people realize how hard musicians actually can work.
Yeah, I think it's more the traveling, especially if you're sort of up and coming musician. The in between, the gigging, it's really sort of 33% of the job, you know. And it's obviously important to gig a lot, but you got to start, and you need to play all the gigs you can play, but you need to find that balance eventually of what you really want to do with your career, and then take it from there and build it from there, basically. So I'm in a space now where I just going back to the reason why I started doing music, and that's because I love music. So my mission now is just to focus again, just on playing the guitar and just becoming a really good guitar player, instead of looking for all these things and heading for this whatever it is at the top. You know what I mean? I don't care about that anymore.
We all want to be big rock stars, eh?
I don't care. I'm
driving 15 cars.
Yeah, I'm past that. I was there, but I'm past that now. It's stupid.
That's awesome. I mean, you say you've been touring a lot.
Yes.
Any of the gigs that stood out, aside of course from STRAB now that we get to?
Copy last year obviously was great, but I think last year we had a great set at STRAB this year, but last year STRAB was probably one of my most memorable gigs ever. It was my first full band live show. It was really, really cool experience.
No, that's epic. You've done what, 3 STRABs now? Did you play that? 2?
6.
6?
This is my 6th STRAB. I think fifth that I'm playing. Once I was just general public, and then 5.
I lost count there somewhere.
Yeah, I've been here a few times before.
Favorite
I've been
STRAB
lucky.
memory?
Favorite, I actually put it in the little
I
STRAB
know, that's
magazine.
so awesome. I read it and it was quite epic.
It was a super funny moment. We were sitting, I think it was a Saturday. Friday evening is usually the big evening at STRAB. Wednesday everybody arrives and they go a little bit too big, and then they kind of have to refresh, and then Friday is the big night. And on Saturday morning we were sitting in breakfast, everybody a little grumpy, hangover, and Paul and Gareth Wilson coming down and towards the restaurant, and Paul his usual self, Mr. Chirpy, and Gareth behind him looking like death.
Like Gareth.
Like death has walked over him, and he had this weird little grin on his face, and he was slouching a little bit like this, and then Andre Kriel just shouted out of the restaurant, "Hey, Paulie, who's your new girlfriend?" Love that.
Just imagine that.
Love that.
That's one thing that I think about STRAB is it's the music, yes, and it's a vibe, but the moments. You meet the nicest people, and
I live for that. Like at festivals, it's always that one moment at a festival for yourself, that one sort of personal moment that just makes it. And every festival's got its own vibe, but that's those moments. Yeah.
So do you think we'll be seeing you at STRAB next year?
Might not. I'm in a new phase, as I said. I'm actually moving to Europe in 3 weeks. semi-moving. I'm going for 3 months, and hopefully if my visa stuff works out, then I might stay a little bit longer, maybe a year, however long it takes to start to get something going there.
Is that specifically for the music?
For music, yeah. So, yeah, I suppose. Also just general, just growing as a person.
Ah.
New things, new roads to travel, new inspiration, new stuff to write about, new challenges, you know. So you gotta keep moving. You know.
And can we expect any form of I don't know, Outsiders album recording? I know you launched your new album. When was it? Last year?
No, it was already 2 years ago. So I'm full on. I just.
I only got it mid last year.
Yeah. I'm terrible with the marketing part.
Yes, you are.
But I got out of my record deal, so I'm a free agent again, and my publishing deal is finishing in a month's time. So then there's definitely there's a lot of new ideas, especially because I'm traveling a lot these days, and I'm seeing a lot of new things. There's a lot of new ideas coming in, so it's definitely some cool. I think I'm feeling really good about the progress I've made, and especially I think the next 5 to 10 years is going to be a crucial space for my songwriting, album making.
If I can ask you one last thing. You basically mentioned that you grew a lot, you learned a lot, and you're in a new space in your life. So if there's an upcoming new artist now, and you had to give him one of your pearls of wisdom that you learned, and you had to pick only one, what would that be?
Ian. Don't do it, Jax.
Don't do it for money though.
Gig as much as you can. Find your own sound. That's it.
So
Find your own sound till you collapse. It's worth it though. It's worth it. And not that I'm saying I found my sound. I think I'm at a point after it's about 12 years that I've been playing live, and it feels to me that I'm at a point where I'm starting to reach on the edges of what I might sound like, or what I would like to sound like eventually. So it takes time, and for that you have to put in the hours. You've got to gig, you fucking sweat, you know what I mean? You've got to bleed.
Well, much of respect for that, and thank you for sharing with us.
Cool.
I appreciate it, and I do believe that you will go far.
Thanks.
And literally far to Europe.
Cool.
Right, thanks so much. Here's a handshake moment.
Oh, yeah.